to your car, and it's a very quiet, somber time, but that's really the time that you that's really the time and space that you need to be alone as a family or as an individual who's lost an animal. And so I think that's an example of how we work together. You all didn't come in here saying you needed a chapel. That wasn't part of it, but it was listening to the words that everyone was talking about that really led to that. And it couldn't have come just from me. What I was doing was just trying to listen. And that is what this building is about. It's about listening to the team, translating through the realm of architecture, through concepts and ideas, how to make that real. And that's what this building is that's going up down the street really is, a kind of capturing of those ideas that are all about nurturing.
To have a veterinary clinic in C2 zoning, you got to go for special approval before several commissions, and ultimately the city commission in downtown Decatur. So basically that teed us up for a series of 3 meetings. The first one with the Downtown Development Authority on January the 12th, and then there were 2 more in February. So there were these 3 meetings, and it was funny because we came out with it's the beauty of working with people like this. We all love what we're doing, and we all enjoy each other's company. So wherever we go, we inevitably come out with stories. But we had 3 meetings, and from each of the 3 meetings, there were 3 different stories. And so the first meeting was in early January with the Downtown Development Authority of Decatur. And this is a great story because it shows kind of the interaction between architect and client. Bill had decided that he wanted to adopt a dog. Michelle and I guess Donnie and the gang found this dog that was later to be named James Brown for Bill. And he's full of energy and pretty much ate everything. But right about the time of that first meeting, Bill adopted James, and he's named James Brown because James Brown passed away the day that he adopted the dog, and he happens to be Brown, so of course Bill, James Brown, there you go. We get to that very first meeting, and just Will and I are there, and they call us to order. There wasn't really anything else on the docket, so we stand up and we start telling the story of the building for the first time in a formal setting, and just, this is what we're planning to do, and we think it should be approved, and sort of selling our story. And the chair of that committee is an architect, so started getting into some of the technical pieces of the story. And I was like, boy, I sure wish Bill was here. And all of a sudden, 10 minutes into the meeting, Bill walks in the side door with the dog. James Brown comes walking into the committee meeting with James Brown. It's the first time a dog, to my knowledge, has ever been in the city commission hall. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Carpenter, what meeting would be complete? What vet clinic meeting would be complete without a dog? And bam, there you go. So Bill walked in, and we had a good meeting there, and it was kind of funny. And actually, the chair of the committee leaned over to another person, and I was standing at the podium, and she leans over and goes, "Are there supposed to be dogs in the city commission hall?" And we all heard it in the room, and we just kind of kept playing through it. Our second meeting in February was with the Planning Commission, and that was the first really sort of formal meeting. And it was at night, and it was raining, and one of the members of the commission, we all got up and said that we started to get into, after that first meeting, we started to get our routine down. Will would get up and tell the story, and then I would get up, and then Bill would get up, but we kind of had a little shtick together that we would kind of do. And Bill was very dialed into Decatur, and he said, Decatur is made on there's a lot of nooks and crannies in Decatur, like the little alleyway that runs between the Brick Store Pub and Zocalo, or the little alley that runs up between City Hall and Eddie's Attic. And he was like, and I want to bring that to bear on this project. So On the north side of the property, he built in an alley, and the building bounded one side, and on the other side of the property line was a 29-foot high, 112-foot long, poured-in-place concrete wall. The first time Will and I saw the plan, we were like, what the hell is this wall? What is this thing? So Bill kind of explained to us, well, we need the practical considerations. We need fire separation, and talked about nooks and crannies and sort of creating a space over there. And so we're like, okay, so we're finally sold on it. But at this planning commission meeting, they just kind of were having the same questions that Will and I initially had. And this, in particular, one gentleman, he was on the far left side. I don't remember his name, but he just kept hammering away at the wall. And Bill's at the podium at this point in our little shtick, in our little routine.
He came late, he was wet, he was mad. We decided he had driven in from Cobb County or something like that because he was just angry. And so he started asking questions, and Bart tells that part of the story better, so you got to go back to it.
So he. I think James just passed Wynn. Bless your heart, brown little man. Was that you? That was you? It's operational problems. So anyway, the guy started in, and admittedly, the reason we are there, if you get at the heart of the reason that we're there for the approval, it's, are you? The question really I distilled it down to was to the board or to anybody we're presenting to is, are you okay with us having a vet clinic in a 2-story building on North McDonough Street? That's really why we're there, and that's really why the heart of the approval. But oftentimes with volunteer boards and that sort of thing, people just get off in tangents, and this guy was very laser focused on the wall and just kept asking, what's the deal with this wall? And so Bill starts in with, of course, all the practical considerations. Well, it's for fire separation, and we want some space over there, and then of course told about the nooks and crannies.
And then the guy finally goes, well, but why does it have to be so big? Why does this wall have to be here? And then Bill sits there and he goes, and you got to understand, Bill Carpenter's got on his suit. He's real cool, it's like you're in some jazz club and Bill well, it's going to be a wall for fallen pets. It's going to be a memorial to the wall of fallen pets. All the pets that passed are going to be memorialized on that wall. And the guy is all wet. He's got his umbrella. He's sitting there and he looks and he goes, okay. Bart and I are sitting out in the audience and we hear the wall of fallen pets, which we had never heard before. Bart and I are sitting there and we go, what is he doing? What is he doing? And so from that point on, we called it the Wall of Fallen Pets.
We got their stamp and their blessing, and that's what's important in the approval process in Decatur, and frankly in municipalities, that you continue getting blessings as you go along.
There were a lot of stressful and sleepless nights.
There is that pressure, there's always that overarching pressure of, we've only got one shot to do this.
But if this is the final result, I'd do it again.